Welcome to Log It. We're back for Last Four Plus. Ian's back. Welcome back, Ian.
Hey, Caleb. How are you?
Good. You've been watching movies?
I've been watching a few movies. We got a lot to talk about.
I've been watching a lot of TV shows too, actually.
Me too. We should also talk about that too.
I kind of flipped. Did like a full
I think I'm
flip.
back. I think I'm back on TV. I was really anti-TV for a while.
Well, there's been some good shows, so maybe we'll talk about those. But to get things started, I want to talk about a movie you recommended that I had on my list for a very long time, Mother by Darren Aronofsky, which I watched.
Very controversial. Some say his worst movie.
I didn't think it was bad, for sure.
Right.
I thought I wish it wasn't the twist or like what feels like it's supposed to be a twist, even though by then it's like fairly obvious. I don't know. It just felt very like...
It's very on the nose.
Yeah.
It's okay. No, here's the thing. It's on the nose. It's very on the nose once you realize what the whole movie's about. And then it just feels so heavy-handed, you know?
Yeah.
But I think I said this before when I watched it. I felt very dumb until the big reveal. I was like, oh, I get it. So in that sense, I think that's why it worked on me too, was because I was so taken aback. Foolishly, I guess, because I mean, come on, it's right there.
I don't know if I would have caught on if you didn't tell me that there was like a thing to catch on to, because I like Noah, the other Darren Aronofsky Bible movie.
You liked Noah?
I kind of do. It's what I'll put on.
Here's the thing. I liked it until the rock monsters come up.
Yeah.
That like really threw me through a loop too.
They're supposed to be fallen angels, I think.
Okay, that makes more sense.
It is very much like almost like cartoon. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a wild movie.
I mean, it is a movie about a big boat, so come on.
Wild movie, but it's one I like to put on. But this one had a similar issue with the last act goes on forever. Like once the house is getting trashed and Jennifer Lawrence is being like abused and violated.
Yeah, that's very hard to watch.
It was like, I felt like that sequence lasted 20 minutes. It felt like, and I was just like, I get the point. Like I get what you're showing us at this point in the story, but maybe you just wanted it to really be torturous because it's such a. So I guess we should say what the thing is. So Jennifer Lawrence is Mother Earth. And Javier Bardem is God.
Mm-hmm.
And then throughout the story, you see people coming through, which eventually you realize are characters from the biblical story. But this is very much from the point of view of like Mother Earth.
What did you think about the Cain and Abel part? That one was, I was just like, what is happening? I it really threw me through a loop. Because the movie is just so, again, it's one of those things where until you realize what the movie is telling you or like what it's trying to portray, you're just like, what is happening this entire time? But that's another fun thing about the movie is that once you realize what it is, you kind of go back and see like who were these characters and what they were trying to accomplish or like who they were trying to portray and stuff like that.
Totally.
But the Cain and Abel stuff was just like really, if you think the whole like all the whole house kind of turning in on itself and just getting demolished, that Cain and Abel section is very just like hits you on the head with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, the whole movie does. The whole movie is just like a big wink.
Truly. And like it's a very poetic movie where every element is like some sort of translation of a biblical event or description or something, which it is like there's no subtlety once you know, like you're saying.
It's not a subtle movie at all. It's truly not. Yeah.
The Cain and Abel story, that's when it for sure I was like, oh, this is like God and Cain and Abel, and then I was like, eventually it was like, okay, so she's Mother Earth.
I thought this is upsetting, but I really thought it was going to be some like weird incestuous movie. I don't know why, or like some like mother love type of thing without going in, not knowing anything about it. Also, because everything I've heard about it was that it was so upsetting. Like a lot of people left like the movie theater while it was playing because it was just
it was brutal. The last sequence is brutal and long, and it really
absolutely.
Once it's chaos, it's like fully chaos. Like the house becomes like an apocalyptic war zone by the end of the movie, and there's like refugees and like people like
it's just like every mankind folly is portrayed in that house. Like you have people, you know, like sexual slavery, you have like drug use, you have police brutality, you have war, famine. It's just like everything that mankind has done wrong is in this like house. It's so, again, and that's why I think you said poetic. I do think like visually, I think this movie is like very well done.
Yeah.
Like in a space, the way he uses space, because it's all shot inside that house. To my knowledge, I'm sure he uses bigger sets to portray like the bigger.
But in the context of the movie, it's all in the house.
Context of the movie, it's all in the house, and I don't know, that really impressed me. Like, take it or leave it, the whole story itself. I thought visually, the movie was like pretty awesome.
Yeah, I really just gravitate towards like bottle episode movies. You know, bottle episodes of a TV show. It's like basically kind of what Mother is, where it's just people interacting in a confined space. I guess they're all not stuck together, which is part of the bubble episode. People can come and go,
but she can't. I think that's the whole.
Yeah, she's bottled up. But visually, I really liked it. Like I did enjoy all the visuals. I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed the first like 2 acts of the movie a lot.
The third act is just like
when it's unnerving and like the Adam and Eve come, played by Ed Harris and Catwoman.
Okay, hold on. Can we talk about that really fast? Explain.
Well, I was just gonna say they are very unnerving and just very weird. And at this point, you're not sure how weird this movie is. So you're not sure if they're super weird or if this like world is super weird, because Jennifer Lawrence reacts in ways that aren't super obvious about how weird this is in the you know what I mean? Like you're in
of course.
So you're still like figuring out where the movie's walls are, like in its world, like reality or whatever.
Right.
So it's very unnerving and very like unsettling, and you're like very confused.
And Michelle Pfeiffer playing Eve, she's really good at making you feel very uncomfortable. Like, she's very good. She's awesome in this movie.
Yeah.
Real quick, again, now that we know what the movie's about, and as I said before, like thinking about the different actors and like who they're portraying, when Ed Harris's character has a wound like in his rib area.
Oh yeah.
And it's supposed to be like, right? Isn't that like the rib that God created?
Totally. I
Dumbest shit ever. About that. So fucking stupid. But also it's just like, of course, like you're like that kind of stuff. You're just like, oh, it's like, that's when it's not poetic. And you're just like, okay. Or the fact that, you know, the house is supposed to be Earth, right?
Yeah.
So Jennifer Lawrence's character is all about like upkeeping the house and restoring the house and making it beautiful and everything. And you're just, and she's working on all these projects. She doesn't want people to like sit on the countertops because she just, all that kind of stuff. Once you, again, realize what the movie's about, you're just like, dear Lord, like, it's so funny.
There's not a lot more to figure out. After that, it was like me and Becca going like, okay, and this is that part of the Bible. Like, okay, so this must be this. And like, and that was fun.
Your Bibles, It's kind of like a Where's Waldo in terms of like the scripture, trying to figure out what's what.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Also, the Cain and Abel stuff definitely was the most, that was like when I was like, okay, again, it makes sense. But also it reminded me of year one. Oh,
I loved year one.
Where the Cain and Abel representation there. It was like
and,
close enough that I was like, oh, this is pretty funny. Like I couldn't help but like laugh.
And Cain and Abel, portrayed by Domhnall Gleeson and his brother Brian Gleeson. Like, come on. Come on.
So, but I did like it, and I definitely don't agree with like the hate. Like I thought it was a good movie. It's just not one I would like watch over and over, probably, again, because it gets so brutal.
I know. I think the people that hated it were the ones like watching it with like their arms crossed and like constantly rolling their eyes. Yeah. And again, me not knowing what the movie was about until the very end. And yeah, I would say, like you said, I think like the first 2 acts of this movie are pretty well done, and then the final act is just like hard to watch, both in like its intensity and also just it's just very brutal because it's the depiction of our Lord and Savior basically being brutally murdered. But yeah, I think if you've never seen this, I think it's definitely worth a watch. I think so.
Yeah, I agree, especially if you like kind of Darren Aronofsky in general, but also just like I would say kind of like M. Night Shyamalan, unnerving.
He's
kind
a
of
provocateur,
like suspension building.
Like all of his movies are very provocative. Like I think they're all pretty visually stimulating. Like like Noah, I think is like pretty cool. Black Swan is awesome. I love The Wrestler. But yeah, I would say watch this movie if you have not.
Cool,
definitely.
Well, that wraps up Mother. What have you been watching?
Caleb, I took a trip to the movies recently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I went to go see, I saw Civil War, the new Alex Garland movie. Potential final Alex Garland movie.
We'll have to talk about that. I've been hearing a lot about this movie, though. A lot of good things.
I really enjoyed it. First off, this is, if you haven't seen an Alex Garland movie, he's done Ex Machina, Annihilation, Men. So like these like very like talking about Aronofsky, like I would say like Alex Garland has like a very good like visual sensibility, right? Like he really knows how to direct a movie. Like Ex Machina is one of the most beautiful shot movies I've ever seen. It's awesome. I love that movie. The visual effects are outstanding. Civil War is like his biggest movie, like biggest budget. I think this is the biggest like domestic opening for an A24 film. So like it kind of like lives up to the hype. This is like a big action-packed movie. It's really cool. But it also has my favorite thing in a movie, or like my favorite subgenre, which is a road trip movie. And this is essentially a road trip movie. It's very cool. It's basically, you have Kirsten Dunst, an actor named Wagner Moura, who I've seen, I don't remember in what, but he's very, very good in this movie. I think I've seen him in a TV show or something, but he's a Brazilian actor. And then you have Kaylee Spaney, who was just in Priscilla, the Sofia Coppola Elvis movie. She's also in Mayor of Easttown, which is a very good show, speaking of television shows. And also Stephen McKinley Henderson of Dune fame and many other things.
Who's he in Dune?
He plays the Mentat.
Oh, nice. Cool.
The first one. Yeah, I love him. So anyway, so those are your kind of your four leads, right? And they're all journalists, photojournalists in America during a civil war. So, and their goal is they want to interview the president, played by Nick Offerman. So they go from New York to Washington, D.C., and the movie is just basically them trekking through the states, trying to get to D.C. to interview the president for what might be like his final interview, because like the whole country's unraveling. It's very cool. It's very light on politics. You don't really get to know why which I actually enjoy, you know what I mean? I kind of like that the movie is just about, the movie's more based on like these four journalists, Kirsten Dunst, Kaylee Spaney being like the photojournalists.
Yeah.
And Wagner Moura is like the writer. And it's more kind of just like about their like methods and how to kind of achieve what they do. Because like Kirsten Dunst's character is like a war photographer, and like there's like flashbacks to her like capturing images of some like really horrifying scenes. So it's kind of like just like how they deal with this atmosphere that they work in. It's pretty good. Like I said, pretty light on the, like you don't understand.
It's never really part of
it's never really mentioned why there's a civil war. Nick Offerman, there is some actually very good exposition through Stephen McKinley's character. He's talking to one of the other reporters and basically asking him questions. Like he's prepping this reporter of like what to ask the president, but he's doing it. He's asking questions in the way that the viewer, like you, kind of know what's happening to the country, if that makes sense. He's like, so you should ask about like why he disbanded the FBI, or like why he decided to like, you know, like say yes to drone strikes, like basically killing his own people, like the American people, stuff like that. So you don't like, it's not heavy handed, if that makes sense, which I really liked.
More of like a peripheral story.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, like the visuals are very cool. Also, it's like, it's pretty interesting too, in that there's not there's like not like a good guy versus a bad guy, if that makes sense too. It's like it's a war, so everyone's kind of bad. Like I've noticed that in a lot of like Civil War movies where they also depict the Union as being kind of pieces of shit too. And like in some movies, like what was it called? Like The Outlaw Josie Wales, that Clint Eastwood movie. But anyway, like the part of that movie is like the Union also sucked. So I liked it in this movie too. There wasn't like this side is the good side, this side is the bad side. No, like both sides are like in war, and it brings out the worst in people. Anyway, I thought it was really good. Also, dude, it's like literally 109 minutes. It's awesome. It rocks. I love that it's so short.
Wow, for such an epic movie, that's impressive.
And it's cool too, dude. Also, I will say, it's very bracing. Like you're like literally on the edge of your seat. There's like some things in this movie are just like extremely horrifying. Not horrifying, that might be a little much, but like you're just like, whoa, like bracing for impact.
Yeah.
And and the soundtrack is really good in this movie too.
Cool.
I was listening to an interview with Alex Garland about like kind of like his music choices, and there's this one scene which is like really terrifying, but then he pairs it with like a De La Soul like hip hop song, and it's just like it really like kind of like takes you out, but also works well too because you just have to see it. It's good. But yeah, I would recommend it. Definitely see it in a movie theater if you can.
Is it kind of like in Us when they have the big fight murder scene with the underground people while Beach Boys are playing?
Kind of like that, yeah.
Similar
kind of
tone.
the same vibe. But it's more so I feel like it's supposed to represent like so Wagner Moore's character is like the journalist, but you can also tell his character kind of gets off on these like conflict areas. You know, like some journalists definitely get a high from being in these like really like intense environments. So I don't know, like there's like it plays like this De La Soul song and then like cuts to him and he's like laughing, like this is like the time of his life.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Like he's like getting a high out of it. It's crazy. It was really interesting.
Well, I'm excited to see it.
And everyone's very good. Kristen Dunst is great in this movie. She's awesome.
And that's fun. I don't think has she been like in a TV show or something?
I think she was in Fargo.
Yeah, she was amazing in Fargo. Fargo season 1, I think.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I'm excited to see it. And do you feel like it's like a classic? Because like the advertising for this has been like, and maybe not. You don't have to say classic, but is it like a 9 out of 10 up there with like Dune 2? Because I feel like that's like the hype. Not
it's
quite
hard
Dune
to compare
2, but that
two.
it's like a big like
I think it's like probably one of the better movies of 2024 for sure. Like I think it's awesome. I don't know. I think some people kind of think that it skimps on like the political nature of it. So I think that's why some people didn't enjoy it as much, or they're just like, what is the message of this movie? When in reality, it's kind of like there is no message, I guess.
War sucks, probably.
Or yeah, I mean, like I'm not intellectual, so I don't really know. But no, I think it's awesome. Again, I can't really compare like this and Dune 2, which are probably like my 2 favorite movies of this year.
Yeah, nice.
But
no, not like a direct comparison. More just like in it's like impact and like is it one you'll definitely rewatch?
That's interesting because probably not only because like it's an anxiety inducing film. Like, and I tend to not rewatch those. I'm kind of like a one and done in terms of movies that just like make me feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
But I would say like if this is his first or his last directed film, I would say it's a good way to end it for sure for Alex Garland. Which,
speaking of that, I feel like I've heard that it wasn't a thing, like that he backtracked on it a little bit. Well, he's for sure not directing anymore.
Well, he says that. I mean, I think it's like one of those things where it's like, you know me, I'm a headline guy. I only read the headlines. So when someone says like they might not do it, they turn into a definitive, right? But he was saying that he's probably going to go back to screenwriting, which is like that's what he loves to do.
And started, right?
And speaking of which, he's gonna do the new 28 Days Later trilogy. Like he's writing that. So I don't know. I mean, I hope he doesn't. I hope he directs another one because I think he's very talented. But we'll see.
He's one of those guys that's I feel like yeah, just you're always kind of excited for his movies. So that's a
Yeah, for
shame.
sure.
Well, cool. We'll talk about one from Apple TV. I had to get a
Oh,
new iPhone,
give it to me. Oh,
so I
nice.
got 3 months of Apple TV Plus. So I've been
Oh,
watching a ton of stuff, including some great TV shows. Really, Severance, so good, incredible show.
yeah.
It was like amazing. Shout out to Josh for recommending it for the last like 2 years to me, or a year, however long it's been out.
Can I ask
Finally
you
watched
something?
it. It's worthy of the hype.
So when someone recommends something like very, very like you need to watch this, does
Yeah.
that actually put you off the thing?
Not anymore, I
Okay,
think. And maybe it's because we have a show about like recommending movies. I've been
that's
humbled.
true.
But
Yeah,
I think it does intimidate me though, where I
for
do
sure.
get more nervous to watch it because then I'm like, man, if I don't like it, I'm gonna have to tell them, and then like if it really stinks, I'll judge them, and our
Yeah,
friendship will falter. It'll
you
drop
start
down.
avoiding text
Yeah.
messages. You start, yeah.
So like that was just so bad I can't do it. But it sounds like you get intimidated. Is
Not
that you? Is
intimidated.
that
I'm more just like this. I don't. It's not like I don't like being told what to do. That's not it at all. But that's kind of like the vibe. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
for instance, like everyone was telling me to watch Ted Lasso. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. I won't do that. So I do sometimes have a hard time if someone's like, you have to watch this. I'm
And you're
like,
like, no,
no,
I
I'm
don't
not
have
gonna
to
watch
do
that.
anything.
Actually, here's the thing. But I only say that because you said Severance is good.
It
You
is
liked it.
good. You don't
Yeah.
have to watch it, but
I might.
you'd probably benefit. There'd be lots of enjoyment. It was one I wanted to finish.
Yeah.
After like the second episode, I was like, okay, I want to know as much as I can about what's
Okay.
going on. I want to. So I think we watched all of it in a day or two. But tangent,
Yeah.
shout out Severance, and I'll
Nice.
keep this one quicker. Argyle, I watched
Oh
Matthew
no.
Vaughn's new movie.
Yeah.
Matthew Vaughn, who did Kick Ass, he
Yeah.
did another movie,
He,
The Kingsman
King. I like the
movies.
Kingsman movies.
Those are
Yeah.
solid. Kick Ass is, I think, a good movie for what it is. It's
Yeah.
not my favorite vibe.
It was like on the cusp of the superhero movie too. It kind of rode that wave a little bit.
Yes, and before dark, edgy superhero movies
Yeah.
were just like a dime a dozen, which it
Yeah.
feels like now. But this movie was as bad. This one lived down to
Yeah.
the hype. It was really disappointing because I was ready to accept just a good time.
Yeah.
And it's not a lot of that. The humor is really, really bad. Bryce Dallas Howard
Bad.
is, I don't think she's a good actress anymore.
Mm.
I think Lady in the Water was her peak, where she
That
didn't
was like
talk and
2003. When was that? What are we talking here? You didn't like the Jurassic Park movies?
It was her first movie. But it was just really not even worth talking about. Sam Rockwell's awesome because he's just a good time. So he
gets away with murder I think a lot. Like when he's in bad movies, he's usually he's the good guy.
Thing you can kind of still get something out of.
Yeah.
But like overly sentimental in a really annoying way. And there was one just like painfully obvious like cross promoting Apple thing or like vertical integration. Which one?
The Vision Pro thing. They wear a bunch of goggles. Oh,
I don't even. Do they do the Vision Pro? I didn't even catch that.
I think you noticed they're like those big goggle things.
Do you remember Apple Music released like a Beatles song that they only had like?
Oh yeah, and that's their song,
dude. They play it like 3 times in the movie.
Stupid.
And it was just like as bad as the movie was. That was like the most painful, like take me out of the movie moment. Because like, oh, this is that Apple song.
That's like the third strike.
That one they did.
Yeah, like, that's
and they made that awful video. Have you seen the music video for that?
I saw it. Look, I think I'm the lone defender of that song. I actually kind of like that song, but yeah, the video is like truly awful. Okay, so I don't know anything about. I didn't see this movie, but I read about it because I just had to know. And then is the point of that song, like, is that like their first dance song or something? Like, what is the point? Like, is that her like trigger for her knowing that she's actually Agent Argyle or whatever the crap?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I didn't even remember the twist.
Sorry.
No, it's horrible. It's horrible. So yeah, she's this good. Like anxious, uptight, not uptight, just like anxious and like overly overthinking kind of cliche character. Turns out she is Argyle, the character who's represented by Superman for the first
Kent. Yeah.
Whatever. I can't remember.
And what's with the haircut, man? It's not 1985. Jessica? No, for him. Oh,
yeah. I think it was supposed to be just like stylistically cool. Because like Kingsman has some pretty like cool, weird looks, you know? I guess so. But it doesn't work. It's horrible. Doesn't work.
I think
horrible haircut.
He looks bad in the movie. The movie looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
I think when you and I went to a couple of movies, I think that trailer would play all the time. And it was just like one of those things where you just, I got like secondhand embarrassment for them, like everyone associated with the movie. I was just like, why? What are we doing here? This is bad. But I'm glad you saw it so you could report back.
Yeah, it was very bad. And, you know, not worth watching at all. Just in no way was it worthwhile. So skip it. If you probably already did, everybody.
So I, like you, because you actually told me about this. You and I, do you still have T-Mobile?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the T-Mobile Tuesday thing, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I got 6 months of Apple TV because I signed up for a deal.
Nice.
Yeah. And I've been looking at the Apple original movie list. Like just what Apple movies are. They're like the original, they're like little studio house or whatever.
Yeah.
And I noticed you watched a few. And there was one I was thinking about watching, but I'm a little like I saw Killers of the Flower Moon. I loved it. I'm trying to think of what other one is the other ones. But anyway, Finch.
Yeah.
Just yes or no. You don't need to go into should I watch Tom Hanks's Finch?
No.
Okay.
And I did talk about it on one of the previous episodes if you want to hear more about it. My opinion. But it was I think on the Angelo episode. It was a waste of time movie. It just doesn't really do anything.
Well, there you go. I won't be watching Finch for those of you wondering.
And Tom Hanks is just kind of a bummer.
It's him, and it's like Castaway, but it's not. It's just like it's robot Castaway. I don't need that.
Yeah, like post-apocalyptic robot Castaway. Yeah, and the robot is played by Caleb
White?
No, I wish. Caleb Landry Jones, who's a great actor, but the robot is so annoying. I just hate it. So definitely
I was watching the preview for it. I'm like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Like he's like teaching the robot how to drive, and I was like, oh boy. And I know there's gonna be a flashback of him like losing his son or child or whatever, and like the robot represents his whatever past life. Okay, I won't watch Finch.
Yeah, good call.
But okay, so Argyle, like what? That's an indictment of Apple Studios, is it not? Like I didn't know it was an Apple movie until I saw it pop up on their. You know what's also funny? Real quick, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So when you go on the Apple TV app. So non-Apple original movies, they all have like the Rotten Tomato ratings, but then anything for that's like an Apple original movie, there's just none of that. So I was like, I wonder if they'll show that Argyle is like 13%. No, it does not, because they gotta keep that under wraps. Also, the movies leave that service so fast.
Oh, on Apple TV?
Yeah, they're there for like a month and then they bounce. It's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't even noticed.
Yeah.
But I do see they have a big section of leaving soon and just arrived.
Oh, yeah.
It's like both of them are. And that's like two of the top ones. So it makes sense if they're cycling.
Yeah. Apple's throwing a lot of money at their stuff. Like there's that. And they're like going all in on genre stuff. They're doing a bunch of like sci-fi crap. Yeah. So
the one with Foundation. Have you heard anything about
Foundation. Yeah, I didn't read it. They're doing a Franklin show, like a Benjamin Franklin. We don't need that. We don't.
Oh my gosh, with Michael Douglas playing.
He doesn't even look like him.
It really looks like a Drunk History
Yeah.
kind of thing.
They cover that in the John Adams HBO show. They had what's his face who just died recently. He played Franklin. He was good. Also, didn't know Franklin sucked.
He was pretty crazy.
But we'll never know. Slow Horses. I hear Slow Horses is good. You gonna watch Slow Horses?
I have not heard anything about that.
Oh, there you go. Watch Slow Horses. I only hear.
Have you seen it?
Really great. No, I have everything. Everyone's like, watch Slow Horses, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, it is.
You have to watch Slow Horses.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, it's a bunch of MI5 agents who are like the loser bunch.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's
premise.
pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway,
well, you got another one?
Yeah.
That you want to talk about?
I watched Dream Scenario.
Oh, yes.
Christopher Borgli.
Yes.
Who also did what's that other movie? Sick of Myself, which I haven't heard, but I heard good things about. I really enjoyed this movie. I had a great time with this movie. First off, completely original like story. Like I just liked like this. I've never seen this before. Great Nicolas Cage performance. Truly, I think he had a blast making this movie. I think every line reading was perfect. It was amazing. And basically it's about him, this like, he plays like this loser professor of like some of like insectology or whatever. And he's just like a nobody. Like just no one thinks about him. He's just a nobody until everyone starts dreaming about him. Like he appears in everyone's dreams and then he becomes famous and then a change happens and then he becomes the most hated person on the planet. And I had a blast. I loved it. Everyone in this movie is really great. Julianne Nicholson, who plays his wife, is awesome. I love her. Michael Cera is in this movie, and he's probably my favorite part of the movie, even though he's only in it for a couple minutes. And he plays like this like weird like tech bro trying to like get in on like, he's so funny.
Making money off of him.
There's
somehow.
a quote. So there's this scene where Nicolas Cage's character is in like a business meeting with Michael Cera and Kate Berlant, who's also great in this movie.
Yeah.
And they're just talking about like business opportunities because he's like now in everyone's dreams. So how can they make money off this opportunity? And they're like, and they're trying to like pitch Sprite, like, hey, I think Sprite wants to do business with you. And then he's just not Paul Matthews, Nicolas Cage's character is like just not feeling it. And then Michael Cera just says, if you're not feeling Sprite, we'll respect that.
Okay, but then no ads, no Sprite. We're focusing on the book.
Yes. And, if you're not feeling Sprite, we'll respect that.
And I don't know why, but that was like one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And I couldn't recommend this movie more. I had a great time. It gets a little dark, especially when the movie turns, because basically Paul Matthews, the man who's been appearing in everyone's dreams, then starts like becoming like a nightmare specter. Like he's like killing people in their dreams, not like literally, but like their dream self. And everyone's just like, mad at him. Also made me like sad because like everyone's like trying to cancel him. I'm like, this guy didn't ask for it. It made me like a little upset, actually. I don't know about you. Yeah.
When the students turn on him,
I got so mad at them.
That was
a tough. So mad.
Yeah, I was definitely like sad and it's like hard to watch type of
like
thing.
They wrote loser on his car and then he gets mad and then they start filming him because he's like, see, he is a monster. He's reacting. I'm like, you guys wrote loser on his car. Like he's gonna be mad at you. You're provoking him. Anyway.
It's a crime. You vandalized his property.
Yeah.
He has every right to be mad at that point.
I also feel whatever. But this is a great movie. I had a great time. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, totally agree. I already talked about it, so I won't get into it, but I loved it. And Nicolas Cage was awesome in it. Yeah, I like the feeling of it being like touches of like a horror movie.
A little bit.
At certain points, you're not sure what direction it's going to go.
Sure.
Like it could have easily turned into like he actually is a murderer. Like, you know what I mean? Like it could have turned into like where the violence gets real, but they
kind of live that lingering, like, because he's such like he's like not a nuanced character, so you could be like, oh yeah, he maybe does actually maybe he is some weird dream
Freddy type of
yeah.
monster.
There's a line that he says, I forgot. He like literally just repeats back a name, like someone's name. But it was like, again, one of the hardest times I've laughed this year when he just like Nicolas Cage just has like a name, but he like his like pitch goes up and he like almost like you know what I mean? Like
I mean, I know he did that in the movie. If like that was
that's
kind of one of his.
And
like,
I was just like, it was just so good. I was like, he was perfect for this role. It was awesome.
I wish I could remember. I can like almost hear it. Yeah, he was great. And Christopher Borgly's cool. I'm excited to see more of what he does.
Yeah.
Have you seen his YouTube channel?
No. Is it worth a watch?
It's worth checking out. There's some fun, weird short films, and he has some fun, weird promotions for Dream Scenario specifically, but worth looking at. Cool young filmmaker.
So at the end of the movie, they can't really figure out like how this phenomenon happened, but then there's like this weird like integrated ad into the movie about like a device that lets you go into other people's dreams.
Yeah.
Did you like that part? It took me out a little bit because I was just like, it kind of felt so not out of touch with the movie, but it felt like a weird like pivot. Swerve. Yeah, kind of. It was interesting though. I thought it was kind of slightly funny.
It definitely felt almost like an after credit scene because it doesn't connect to his story at all.
It felt like a sketch within the movie, like an SNL sketch. Yeah,
I was gonna say I say this about like every movie now, but it feels like an SNL sketch to like, and it's one of the last things I think before you get Nicolas Cage's resolution after that, right? With his, but it definitely didn't ruin.
No, definitely
hurt
not
anything else. You know, what'd you think about the David Byrne suit?
I liked it. I thought it was a cute callback. Yeah. I was trying to figure out why. I was like, wait, what? Because I forgot about that when you just see him in a big suit. I just kind of thought, I was like, oh yeah, he was just like dreaming, so everything's kind of like embellished. But then I was like, oh well, yeah. And then they played the Talking Head song at the end. But no, I thought it was cute. And again, man, like Paul Matthews just got a bad rap. I just felt bad that his whole family abandoned him. It just made me sad. Also, I liked that him and his wife just lie to each other about their days. You know what I mean? Like they're like, how'd your day go? And then they just completely like lie.
Great. She really was receptive. Yeah. Totally.
I thought it was good.
Him failing throughout the beginning of the movie because like he's trying to get credit for an idea that somebody else is using for a paper, and it just goes like it's very like nightmare fuel, like where it's just like every little thing goes like wrong, and he ends up like crying and like yelling at her, I think. And then that's the scene too.
He records the whole conversation because his wife is like, because he like thinks he's gonna
it's gonna be like badass.
Because she's like, you're really gonna tell her what's what. And then like you hear back the recording, and it's just, I also like that in that scene too, where they have the recording audio match with their like syncing in with their I thought that was cool.
But it's like the cell phone quality.
Yeah.
And then he just deletes it and tells I was like, do you record it? He's like, no, I thought it'd be a little too intrusive or something.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Fun movie.
I liked it. I thought it was great.
Well, I guess I'll go to what's going to be my last one.
Okay.
Gulliver's Travels.
Oh my god, the Jack Black movie.
Black.
I saw you log this, and I was just like,
it was one that was just like to put something on. I didn't think I'd watch it. Just an interesting movie because it's got this like really crazy great cast. Like there's so many comedy stars in this movie.
Who's the female lead? Because it's
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
So listen to this cast.
Give it to me.
Jack Black, obviously. Emily Blunt. Jason Segel.
Wow. What year is this?
Chris O'Dowd. James
this
Corden,
is like, okay, can
Catherine
I guess?
Tate.
Let me guess the year. This is 2005. No, it's going to be 2007.
Wrong. Do you want to go again?
2007?
You're early.
2006? Or in 2008?
Early.
9?
One more.
10?
Yeah, 2010.
This came out when we graduated high school.
Apparently, that's what the
Dude,
letterbox says.
This is so peak 2010. Just the cast alone: Jason Segel, Chris O'Dowd.
Yes,
they were
Tate.
the guys. Yeah,
A lot of great British. Joe Latruglio is in this of Brooklyn Nine-Nine fame. He is in this for one shot of the movie. And it's when they're first catching Jack Black, they pull his pants down because they're pulling him down, and they pull him by his waist, So his butt is out, and he falls down backwards onto his butt and sits on. Oh. No, he sits on Joe Latruglio, like he kills him.
Oh my God.
And I cannot remember what line he said. I actually meant to go back and write it down. But he basically is like, well, that's that's bad luck or something like that.
Unlucky.
But that's the one scene he's in. I was writing down all the names of the crazy cast.
Yeah.
His name in the credits is Butt Crack Man.
That's good. That's good for the resume. Butt Crack
Can you
Man.
imagine being inspiring? Like, he's made it now, so I think it's fair to laugh a little bit.
That's this is very much like, speaking of like year one, this is very much a year one cast.
Totally year one adjacent.
Yeah. And I think those movies probably came out within like 3 or 4 years of each other.
The special effects. So this is where this movie's value really comes in, is the special effects. The special effects, if you like miniature stuff, are really good.
Okay, Caleb, this versus Downsizing. Who has the best miniature people?
Interesting. Definitely Downsizing, but I feel like Downsizing is standing on the shoulders of movies like Gulliver's Travels.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah. So really fun. Jack Black is fine. He has this, Jack Black has a romance with Amanda Peet.
Amanda Peet, wow.
Yep, another crazy one. I also wrote down a guy named J.J. Miller. Oh, T.J. Miller. I forgot about T.J. Miller's also in this. I was like, J.J. Miller. Amanda Peet. They have a romance. Is she a bad actress? Because I always thought she was cool, but she's so bad in this. But it might not be her fault.
So she was great in Saving Silverman, where she plays the love interest.
Soft classic.
I'm looking at her movie list. I can't comment if she's bad or not because I haven't seen enough of her movies.
Well, she's really bad in this, but the character's horribly written, so it's probably not her fault, or I can't blame her at least. But the whole movie is set up with Jack Black being in love with Amanda Peet. He's checking her out.
But is she small?
What? No. This is in his office before he goes.
What are the travels?
This is how he becomes a traveler.
Okay.
He was in love with Amanda Peet. He doesn't even talk to her though. He literally just stares at her from afar. He's the mailman at this.
He's the mailman.
Office.
He's a mailman.
Not a literal mail room.
Oh, okay, sorry. Peeked the mic there.
So he's in the mail room. He's trying to talk to Amanda Peet. T.J. Miller comes in and he's like, "You're never going to talk to her because you're a loser."
Classic T.J. Miller.
He's very mean.
Dressing down the star of the movie.
So T.J. Miller he gets up the nerve to go talk to her, and then he wimps out and tells her he's a writer and he wants to go on a trip. So he fakes a written sample by stealing things and then goes on the trip. So the only thing he's done is literally lied to her. That's their whole relationship. That's the only time he's ever talked to her. Yeah. Then she finds out he's lying. And so she comes and she's like, "I'm going to have to do this job now. Like, you're definitely fired. Once I get out there, we'll finish this." She comes out there. She gets brought in and captured by the little people. Jack Black saves her, basically doing not much. And then she's like in love with him. And it was just painful.
Give her a backbone.
It was instant and literally the only thing he'd done, and I know it's not a love, they're not trying to write a romance here, but it was the zero effort to giving them it was one scene of them even be like, "I'm sorry, I did lie, but look how cool all this is." And she's like, "You're right. I love
this is
you."
Still peak, kind of, sorry, Jack Black, but kind of doofy fat slob gets the hot girl, we're not doing anything.
Seth Rogen.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, all he had to do was show up and then.
Basically, and his charm just.
And where are they? What island or what do they specify? I guess they can't really do that.
And I didn't write it down. They yell it a lot because
Gulliver. Oh wait, no, that's his name. Is his name Gulliver?
Yeah, his name is Gulliver. I didn't actually write his first name down.
Did you like it? I have a feeling you kind of liked it.
I do. So I think this is definitely one. I need to start making categories of movies because I realize this is how I rate movies on the show. Naturally, this is the categories that are forming.
Okay.
This is like a put it on and like do other things. Like if you're doing something that's like half a brain and you just need to put something on that you don't really need to pay attention to or want to, you're not going to be fully distracted. You can look up and be like, wow, those visuals are nice. The miniatures look great. It's one of those movies. But I will say, when this movie is dumb, it's the dumbest. It's so stupid. Like the comedy can be insultingly like early 2000s in the worst way.
Yeah.
Like just trying to be like raunchy or like you know,
those edgy for like a PG movie or whatever it's rated.
Yeah,
like,
and just a lot of moments where you're just like, wow, I'm embarrassed to be watching this. So I will say that. I don't
It's crazy what 10 years can do for like the social dynamics of like those types. You know what I mean? Like a lot, like so many of these jokes would not fly now. It's crazy.
It's
like what a decade does. I mean,
really
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like in the grand scheme of things, like
you're like,
you
wow.
really like comedies do not age well, like at all.
No, not a lot of them.
No, but thanks for watching it.
Yeah, and it's an interesting movie. That's all I'll say for me. It hits that sweet spot.
Yeah. Well, you know, I would say Gulliver's Travels kind of delve into kind of like, you know, trickery and like mysticism. There's a magical quality.
It's the Bermuda Triangle.
Right. And what better way to follow that up with than The Prestige, which is what I watched. I haven't seen this in years. And this is the Chris Nolan 2006. This is the Jackman Bale two-hander about two magicians. Sorry. Basically two magicians who are like, I'm gonna do this trick better than you, and then they're gonna ruin each other's lives. Pretty fun.
That's a great summary, by the way.
I was like one of the best. Yeah. Usually I get flop sweat and I flounder on those in those moments, but I thought I really nailed it right there. But yeah. So I haven't seen this movie in a while. I forgot the premise, and I forgot that Christopher Nolan does that fucking time thing where you don't know what and I'm like, oh, is this the beginning of that? It's not, because he did Memento, and that's like the king of that.
Yeah.
But it kind of like threw me off, and Inception, correct. And it kind of threw me off because I was like, wait, who is this? Which one is? Which actually, it does help the movie a lot because, you know, the whole movie is about, you know, leading a double life and like, you know, like not giving up or not, you know, whatever the magician code is of like not telling people whatever it is they do.
Yeah.
All in all, I thought it was still pretty good.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, basically the reveal, there's a trick where Christian Bale's character does like a duplicate trick or whatever, where he goes in one door and another one pops out, whatever. And it turns out he has a twin brother, right? That's the thing. The thing that does not age well is that Christian Bale also plays a guy named Fallon, who is like kind of his handler, but also turns out to be his brother. And he wears like this like prosthetic makeup. It looks really bad. And I was like, oh yeah, that's him. Hugh Jackman is really great. Michael Caine is just Michael Caine. Like he just plays the same like character.
And specifically Christopher Nolan's Michael Caine too.
Exactly.
Where he's just kind of like the wise mentor who's around.
Yeah. Also
very sweet.
Also, this is I think like early 1900s London, so everyone has like a very thick Cockney accent. So it almost sounds like everyone is just making fun of the accent, but really I'm just assuming they're like, this is just how they talked. David Bowie's in this movie. He plays Tesla, which I completely forgot about. I forgot that was a whole point of the film. Also, I think when I first watched this, I thought, wait, did that actually happen? Did he make like a weird like duplicator machine?
Like in real life?
Yeah, because I'm stupid, but he didn't. I thought it would be cool. And they kind of hint at it because the Edison cronies destroy Tesla's machinery. So who knows? This might be the case, but
it seems like Edison was
he was a garbage person. Yeah, he sucked.
And did steal.
Yeah,
but anyway.
He was awful. But I would say still a fun watch. The Jackman Bale kind of scuffle, like just them just being completely obsessed and jealous with each other is just, I love that. I kind of love that in a movie. It's a good like propulsive force through the movie. You know what I mean? Like, and they're both so like, they're just so mean and like just like, and you're like, in the world of magic, also in the 1900s, I just feel like that time period is still like anything could happen. Like, I'm gonna go and cut this guy's fingers off because he ruined my, you know what I mean? Like, it was just kind of like the Wild West, but in London. So the Wild East, Wild Island. Yeah. Anyway, also Scarlett Johansson in this movie, and kind of take it or leave it. Oh, also Rebecca Hall is in this movie, and I'm like, every time I see Rebecca Hall, I'm like, I like Rebecca Hall. She's good. She plays the love interest of Christian Bale's character.
Oh yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, she's good. I like her a lot. She's also in The Town, which is a great Boston movie.
She's in the Godzilla franchise.
She's in the Godzilla franchise.
Looks like.
Yeah.
I don't even remember her in that.
Yeah, she plays like a scientist or some shit. But yeah, Prestige, good movie. I would say I think it still holds up. It's fun, and also, who doesn't like seeing up close magic? You know what I mean? It's good stuff.
There's some fun magic stuff.
Yeah.
The Bowie scene feels like a pretty perfect like Bowie thing. Like that, I think the last time I watched it, I remember just being like, I didn't realize and appreciate how cool the Bowie stuff was when I was a kid.
He's so good in this.
And it's like it's like creepy and like, but he's like a weird genius. So it just fits his like persona very well.
I don't know what like where Tesla's from, but he nails the accent. Great accent from Bowie on this one. It's like some weird like Eastern European accent, but he's good. Also, Andy Serkis is in this. He's like the helper of Tesla, and he's good too. Yeah, it's good. I don't know. It's also like kind of like, it's just good. It's just it's good. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
Solid movie.
I think it's a solid movie. I think it's an underrated Nolan, especially with all like the Oppenheimer, the Dark Knight trilogy, all those, and then you have the Prestige, and I think that this is a pretty solid.
Sneaky.
Yeah. Also, it's just one of his earlier movies, which I think is even more impressive. I'm like, dang, he's
kind of a breakout movie, I think, a little bit. Because it was a big hit. Remember there was another movie that was about magicians too?
Dude, The Illusionist.
Yes. And it was like a big
yes. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Oh, it's Edward
Everybody
Norton
was comparing them. At least in like my family, it was like everybody had to pick which one they liked more because they were so kind of similar.
I mean, Prestige came out after a year later after Batman Begins. So
that's crazy.
Like that was a little in-betweener. This is actually wild. Are you ready? He did Batman Begins, The Prestige, The Dark Knight, Inception, Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar. That's wacky. That is wacky.
Crazy.
Like, say what you will about The Dark Knight Rises, whatever. Yeah, that's kooky bananas. He also did Insomnia and Memento. These are good movies.
Yeah, Memento it's kind of become a trope for Nolan at this point, but Memento is awesome, and it was the first one, so you got to give it, a lot of credit.
Yeah,
this movie also was like an early movie in teaching me about like
magic tricks,
foreshadowing in movies.
Yeah, for sure,
because they do the crushed bird.
Yes,
and then that turns out to be the ultimate magic trick.
Yes,
with Hugh Jackman's, what he ends up doing is literally killing a clone of himself. Or actually, he dies. The clone is the one that survives, I think.
I think that's what they're hinting at.
That's what I understood.
I think like you're supposed to interpret it both ways. Like either like he's so broken up because at the end you see all the vats of water filled with Hugh Jackman's.
Yeah.
So there's that, or like he has no idea. Like, am I the clone? Because he doesn't know. He doesn't know if he's going to end up with a tank of water.
He would, yeah.
That's kooky bananas. I mean, like, I would do that once, and then maybe just
murder your clone once for a magic trick.
No, just like have a brother, or just like. Actually, there's a very funny SNL digital short of like Andy Samberg and like two other guys, and they're eating lunch, and then they're like talking about like oh, there's your doppelganger, and it's just the person like wearing like a silly hat or something, and then they go to like, oh, Andy, there's your doppelganger right over there, and then they show it's just Horatio Sands like as a homeless person, and then Andy gets upset, and then he like walks over to the homeless guy, and he's like, you think like we looked alike? And then there's like, I can't tell which one is which. And then he's like, shoot one of them. It's just very funny. It reminded me of that. But
was that when doppelgangers were a big thing on MySpace or Facebook?
For sure. Yeah.
Was that what they were playing on? I remember that.
Could be.
Yeah, but a cool movie and well written. Definitely holds up better than The Illusionist.
I mean, we're not talking about The Illusionist, so
well, I just had to throw a dig in. You mentioned it's up there.
Yeah. Ooh, don't make me do a ranking, Caleb.
I was going to say quick ranking.
Okay. I still haven't seen Tenet, so I can't do that. So I still think Dunkirk is one of my favorites. I love Dunkirk. So Dunkirk might be one.
Nice.
I like Interstellar. I know that some of it the science doesn't work out because I don't care. I love Matthew McConaughey. I love the water planet where time is ticking away. That's amazing. And then I think maybe I'll go Memento because I actually just watched that recently for the first time, and I was pretty floored. I was like, in terms of just like that must have been actually. I was going to say that must have been so hard to film. I guess maybe not because they can just film it in like chunks, right? They're not filming it linearly, so linearly. So those are good. The Dark Knight movies, I think we've talked about this before. I didn't sour on them, but I kind of thought they were, I like them, but I've kind of put those aside.
There's more cheese in it than I realized.
And I also, I agree, but I think, we talked about that, and then I watched The Dark Knight, and I just had to like remember that this was like a comic book movie that's taking itself seriously, but it's still taking like dialogue and language from comic books, if that makes sense. Because a lot of the line reading, I was just like, that's dumb. But then if you just see it through the vision of like from the page of a comic book, you're like, okay, I could see that working. I don't know. Some of it didn't work for me. Anyway, and then all the other ones are good. But top three, I'd go Dunkirk, Interstellar, Memento. Oh, Insomnia is good too.
Insomnia is fun.
I forgot about Insomnia.
His little black and white, like indie first movie.
No, that's Following.
Oh
Insomnia
my gosh.
Al Pacino.
Dude, I always mix them up. Yeah, that movie is awesome.
Dude, Al Pacino,
I forgot about that. Going crazy.
Yeah. Is that in Alaska or something?
Something like that. It's definitely like woods and cold.
Yeah. Good Pacino performance, man. He rocks in that movie. And
yes,
Hilary Swank.
Pretty sweet movie. Another one that you don't hear about, but when you think Christopher Nolan, Al Pacino, you're kind of like, that's crazy.
It's buried under like freaking 5 really good movies. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I guess if you're like only a fan of like the Dark Knight series, you're not going to watch. It's not really, maybe wouldn't translate.
I mean, you should, because it's, should. It's a good movie. Okay.
Cool.
That it?
I think so. I mean, I don't have much else to talk about. As in, I don't have anything else to talk about.
Real quick. I watched Saltburn.
Oh, yes, I did want to hear about this.
Okay. Okay. So, Saltburn, the Emerald Fennel movie from last year. It's basically British. I almost said Ripley's Believe It or Not. No, Talented Mr. Ripley. And so you could, it definitely wears its inspirations on its sleeve. Like, it's also funny because you and I are from, like, you know, we went to high school in like the mid 2000s, and this movie's set in 2006. So a lot of the song choices, the soundtrack is Block Party, it's MGMT, it's Arcade Fire. It's like all these like weird things that kind of like hit me in the pleasure center.
Yeah.
Let me start by saying this movie's stupid. This is a stupid movie. However, I would say visually, it's like quite mesmerizing. I actually really liked watching it. I thought like a lot of the visuals were really good. Emerald Fennell loves like a mirrored shot. So like you see like Barry Keoghan's face in a puddle, but then you see him on, you know what I mean? Like a lot of those types of like stylized visuals. Barry Keoghan is fine in this movie. He's good. But my standout, Jacob Elordi, my God, this man is very handsome. He's very tall. He's a big, big guy. And he looks good in all the clothes in this movie. Like there's like a lot of scenes of him just in kind of like sweater vests. And you're just like, that guy's looking good. The cast is great, actually. So Rosamund Pike, Richard E. Grant, awesome. I love them. They play these kind of really aloof, highfalutin parents who own this estate called Saltburn. It's like this huge castle. And Jacob Elordi, Barry Keoghan, and this actor who I actually really liked, whose name is Archie Madueke, I can't pronounce his last name. But anyway, they play students at Oxford.
Okay.
They befriend Barry Keoghan's character, who's kind of like this sad sack nerd loser. They invite him to Saltburn, the estate. And then kind of the whole movie's basically just parties and glamour and glitz. Do you want me to tell you the end? Or like do you want me to ruin it for you?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, well, if you haven't seen it, don't listen to this part.
Jump out. And come back in a few minutes.
So, like I said earlier, have you seen The Talented Mr. Ripley?
No. What? It's been recommended a bunch.
Okay, that's actually a movie you have to watch. And I know you actually do have to watch that. And now I can't tell you the secret because you haven't seen it.
Connected to Mr. Ripley?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why Josh was probably telling me to watch. Recently, he brought that up too.
Yeah, darn.
But overall,
okay. So overall, I think the movie, like, I think I told you this before. A lot of people hated this movie. Completely understand why. Yeah. And then a few people like liked it, and I also understand that too. Like, it's very much, it's a movie that has like a creative angle to it, which I appreciate. Like Emerald Fennell, she has like a style, and I think that's good for directors. I think it's good for a director to have like a creative identity and like mark that in their films. But I think the part that's stupid is the story. Like, the story's dumb, and it could have been done well. Like, but it's just the back half of the movie. You're just like, oh, why did you do it like that? You shouldn't have done it like that. Which also, like, who am I to say? Because I've never written shit in my life, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's like definitely an entertaining movie. I would say definitely watch it because like you actually have to watch this movie. No, but it's a fun watch. And I know like our friend Julian hated this movie. He said it was the worst popular movie he's ever seen.
Wow.
And I get that. But I think I just had a more fun. Also, I think it was one of those things where I'm like, oh yeah, like the soundtrack does go a long way to like kind of boost the, positivity, you know what I mean? Like it does go a long way. Like when The Modern Love by Block Party pops in, you're just like, dang, this is a good movie. Like, it's great.
I mean, that's right. That's like our classic rock. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Is it the time where those kind of artists are gonna swing back in like
I hope so. I wouldn't mind like I wouldn't mind that. I think we need more indie, like poppy guitar music back.
The music's intriguing.
MGMT is in this movie. Come on. Give me a
They're
break.
in it, or just the music?
Like literally, it's the needle drop is Time to Pretend, and you're just, it's like so on the nose it actually hurts. You actually feel like a weird like twinge in your heart.
They had to do.
It's almost like it's like the character's like, well, I guess I'll have to have some time to pretend, and then it play. It's like one of those like you're just like, no, why did you do that?
Does he actually say?
No, he doesn't say that. But it's like
how it feels.
It's how it feels.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if you watch this and then Talented Mr. Ripley, and then you like. It would be interesting to see what your thoughts are. Like, yeah, but like do the reverse. Like watch Saltburn and then watch Talented.
Interesting.
But yeah, also like I said, I like the cat. Look, Richard E. Grant is in this movie, and he might be one of my. It's like him, and then Richard E. Grant, Stephen McKinley Henderson. Like when you see those guys in movies, you're just like, oh, this is great. Also, you and I have been talking about that show Fallout, and Zach Cherry, who is in that show, he's another guy. Where like when he appeared, he's also in Severance, that show Severance. You're watching.
Yeah, I like him.
When those are like my Mount Rushmore of like good times. When they pop up, you're like, I'm like,
you know,
yay.
It's probably gonna be.
Yeah, you're gonna have a good time.
That's funny. It's one I don't know if I'll watch anytime soon. I'll be honest. Saltburn.
Yeah. Also, it's so long.
How long is it?
Well, it's actually not that long. It's
feels long though.
It's 131 minutes, so it's like 2 hours long. And some change. So it is long, but it got to the point where
if
like
the story isn't really that great.
Yeah. Like it got to the point where I like kept checking how much time was left because like it must be almost over, and it wasn't. You still had like 40 minutes, and you're just like, what's happening? I would say like the first 2/3 of this movie are like are fun, and then the back half you're just like, whoa, that like took a turn, you guys. Like there was no like integration, or there was, but it was just it wasn't like a trickle of like, oh, this is gonna happen at some point. It was just like bang. Turn on its head. Anyway.
Was it effective?
No.
Interesting.
No, it wasn't.
But a cool cast. I think you mentioned Rosamund Pike too.
Yeah, love her.
Who's awesome.
She's great in this movie, by the way.
And she's like one of the main characters, right?
She plays the mother of Jacob Elordi's character. So like somewhat. She pops in, I think, like halfway through the movie, and she's fantastic. I love her.
Fun. Yeah. Well, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about another one.
Let's do it.
But just a real quick. I also watched another Alex Garland movie last night. I forgot to log it, so it slipped my mind. I watched Men Again.
Oh my God. That's one I won't see, or not won't see. I haven't seen it yet just because I'm scared. But
it's a lot. And there is some like a lot of graphic stuff, blood and other things.
I like Rory Kinnear. I like him. He's great in the Bond movies.
He's the kind of bald.
He's the guy, right? He's the the titular man
who plays. Yeah. He plays every character. So this is interesting because this is kind of like in the Mother category to me, where
a lot of people
hate it, just like despise it, and Josh fills me in on movie Twitter a lot of the time when we talk. And he was saying on movie Twitter, Alex Garland gets roasted for this movie to this day. Like people just hate it so much that it's like they're still bitching about it, which it doesn't deserve. It's kind of like Mother to me. It's not perfect, but it's like it is what it's what he was trying to do. Like if you just hate the idea, that's one thing. But like it's a cool movie that executes a lot of things really well and has great acting. The girl is awesome in this. I'm a big fan of her.
Rosie, what's her name? Rosamund? No,
let me pull it up.
Buckley, Jessie Buckley.
Jessie Buckley, love her. She was also in I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which was a really neat movie. But I like her a lot. She's becoming one of the people for me where I'm like, if she's in a movie, I'm like interested right away.
Yeah, I like her. She was really great in Chernobyl. And it looks like that's the only thing I've ever seen her in.
Oh, and she was in 10 episodes of Fargo. Who did she play in Fargo?
I don't know.
Hold on, I have to figure it out. Oh, it's the season I haven't watched yet. There's one season left. But it's a fun movie. Again, it gets really
heady. Was that a pun?
It was a little bit.
Oh wow! I didn't mean to.
It's like a fun, like creepy thriller. Like it's not great, but it's just people running at you while you're trying to unlock a door. Like it's very symbolic. Like it's not like in your face. I mean, like the visual symbolism is a lot of the time like in your face, but like you can just watch it and it's not like I'm like, this is a man-hating movie, which I think is its reputation now.
Who cares?
It's just I thought it was a good time.
Also, I don't know why, but it really bothers me when people are like, what's the message of this movie? Like, I didn't like it because, like, what was the point of it? Like, what was I supposed to take away from the movie? Like, I don't, like, that
Movies don't always have to be life lessons.
Yeah, or also, like, different people interpret them like how they see fit.
Yeah,
so
totally.
I don't know.
Just because it didn't, connect with your life.
Anyway, who cares? Whatever.
But it was I didn't even think about Civil War coming out, but it makes me more excited to see Civil War.
Because you gotta go to the movies, Caleb. You gotta go to the movies.
Visually beautiful movie, men too. Like I love the look and the feel of it. It's a very very like textured and like old British feel, and in a nice way.
The way there's Civil War does some really cool flourishes too, like they'll do like some cuts to, because Kirsten Dunst's character and Kaylee Spaney, they're both photojournalists. So sometimes, throughout the movie they're taking photos, and then it'll kind of cut to like the black and white images that they're taking. It's kind of cool. It's like a nice effect throughout the movie. Kind of see it through their lens, quote unquote, or pun intended. And then they do this thing which I couldn't tell what the intention was, but when you go into like Kirsten Dunst's POV, there's almost like this like weird like shimmer like around her, like around the border of the screen. Yeah. And I couldn't tell if it was like a lens flare, or I don't know. It was pretty interesting. I liked it. So he does have like some nice touches in his movies.
That's funny. Annihilation, they literally call the
shimmer,
visual thing the shimmer.
Dude, that movie rocks.
That's a fun one.
That's a good movie.
Cool, visually cool. Very like serious. That's one of my complaints for maybe all of his movies. I'd have to think more, but like especially Annihilation, it's always intense. Like the characters never get like time.
No,
to just like breathe. It's like every scene is just the things getting worse and worse. But that's what the movie is. It's like a stress movie.
That is definitely, that's stressful. I would say Civil War definitely has a few moments of like kind of levity, I guess. Ex Machina definitge does. I mean, the dancing scene with Oscar Isaac, that's like one of the best things I ever put on film.
It's and so influential. I actually talked about how it's like annoying now how often you get some like dance scene in a drama, like A24 drama.
But
I mean, go ahead.
No,
this is the original. So this is the one. Like, you can't hate this one.
This is the brainchild. Yeah, I forgot what his line is, but Oscar Isaac's character, like right before he starts dancing, he's like, let me show you how to like fucking cut a rug or something like that. He used some like weird dancing terminology, but I was like, oh, that's genius. Like that was the best thing I've ever heard.
And actually, just for the dancing thing, I was thinking about this because I talked about this a little while ago. Also, credit to Pulp Fiction, of course. Oh, yeah. 8.5, which Pulp Fiction was inspired by. But I mean this like modern surge of these scenes in a specific like flavor. But those are also like iconic, like people just get up and start dancing, and it's like kind of weird absurd to see, and like, funny, but also awesome.
It's weird to see movies using modern movies as like little like touchstones for their own. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Well, I feel like that's like with the music. We're like those songs are going to come back because they're not the most like they're a little bit more of like buried.
Well,
it's like a filmmaker now is going to pull out Arcade Fire and be like, "Wow, this is like so retro."
Yeah, in like 10 years, like all the upcoming directors will be like in their 40s, like late 30s, early 40s, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I need to have this song from like fucking Tokyo Police Club to or whatever."
The Strokes,
but that's
will
good. Honestly,
get pulled a lot.
Yeah, I mean that might be on the nose. They might need something a little bit more underground. They might need some. I don't know. Whatever.
Mac DeMarco. No, that's not like a movie.
That's like a little past that. That's like early 2010s.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, so in John Wick 4, there is a scene where he's fighting up the stairs to justice, like fighting up these like flights of stairs.
Oh, nice.
It was amazing. I like thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay, cool.
It was actually rocked, and I forgot which song they used. I think they used something from the first album. I don't remember if it was like Phantom or maybe it's Genesis. It might be Genesis. You should play it. Play it. Can you play it?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Genesis
is such a good album. Man, actually, this might kick off a phase. This used to be like one of my like pump up bands.
Yeah, definitely the song Genesis.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think it was this. Like, this should be in more movies. Like, this should have been in Dune 2 when Paul Atreides is fighting Vader Alpha. They should have just put it to this.
It would work.
It would work.
It's like, it feels perfect for like an epic movie. Like, if,
it's
like especially
iconic.
The fact that like electronic sounds are way more accepted by people. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it would have been weirder 10 years ago, where now this sounds just like a soundtrack almost.
Yeah, I think it's like all the Social Network soundtrack and all that stuff, where it's like a little bit more like keyboard based. Like, this should be like, people should be fighting to this.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's really good.
And then the other one I love, which we don't have to get into, "We Are Your Friends" would be a great
song.
movie one.
That's like a song when the kid is walking through a party in slow motion and it's playing this,
yeah,
and like
totally,
and like everyone's like doing like chugging beer and like doing shots, and everyone and like this guy's just like walking like
totally. Yeah. And then "Stress" was my other.
Dude,
this
Stress,
one I listened to.
This
so
actually
much.
has a very good music video of like these guys wearing these like bomber jackets, French youths like going through the streets and like breaking shit, and they have these like bomber jackets, but with like the animated cross. Like, you know what I mean? It's
totally.
very, very cool. It's awesome.
I loved this video. Just
very
like
cool.
So much energy.
And they're back. Justice has a new album coming out.
No way.
Yeah, they actually released
cool.
a song with what's his face? Tame Impala. It's very good.
Really?
It's a pretty good song.
Oh, that's fun.
A couple
that makes
songs.
sense.
The album just came out. Look at that. Hyper drama.
Today.
Yeah, I don't know when.
This morning, it looks like. Cool. We'll have to check that out. Well, that was a great episode. Next week, we will not have an episode. I think the plan now is to move to 2 episodes a month, basically. Basically every 2 weeks, every other Thursday.
Right. Logit is going through.
Forward.
Yeah, we're going to do a soft reboot of the pod.
Spring cleaning.
Some spring cleaning, get our ducks in order, and we're going to pivot from 1 a week to twice a month.
So in 2 weeks from now, we picked a movie. It's going to be The Fan.
Tony Scott's
1996.
The Fan. That's right.
And we were trying to find a baseball movie to watch because
baseball
season's
baby.
in swing now. I've been watching baseball. You've been watching baseball.
Swing at the bat. Yeah, I'm back on my baseball kick. I think it'd be fun to do more of these kind of themed episodes.
Yeah, I like that
kind
a
of
lot.
like baseball's in the air. People are talking baseball. What better way to kind of join the convo than doing
Talk
a baseball
about a
movie?
1996 obscure baseball movie directed
Yeah,
by...
that no one's ever heard of. No, I'm excited. I love Tony Scott. Also, it's the team is the San Francisco Giants. You know,
Which is
and I
interesting.
think that's cool. You know, usually it is
set
still
in
a
like Candlestick. I think
this would still be a Candlestick. You know, it is a coastal elite, but you know, usually it's the Dodgers or the Yankees
right.
or whatever,
or the Cubs
or the Cubs. Yeah, the Cubs. But yeah, we need to have a movie for every baseball team. So
I like that.
That'd be good. So we got the Giants covered. We'll be doing the Giants.
Angels.
Got the Angels.
One
Got
of
the
best
Dodgers.
Baseball movies.
It is. Got the A's.
Yep.
Formerly of Oakland, now of Sacramento. And
Rangers, I don't think have a movie.
I don't think the Rangers have one.
You can make a movie about Nolan Ryan, probably. He's a pretty wild dude.
And a former Angel.
Yeah, true.
We'll probably get a Otani movie in like 20 years or some bullshit.
Oh, for sure. It might not even be that long.
Yeah. Anywho. So yeah, the fan. We're excited. And the 2 episodes a month, it'll be good for us. We get to spend more time with these movies. Maybe we'll still be doing some last 4, but the idea is to pick
fully
a movie
back into movies. You think?
We'll see. I mean, I am not one to put my flag in the ground. I can't. I'm so you know how I am. Anyway. But yeah.
No, I'm excited to do the single movies again. I think we will probably sprinkle in last 4. People do people have told me they liked them.
Last 4 is fun because it's more of a gab fest. So yeah. I don't think we're gonna retire this episode format because I think that would be silly. But maybe we might sprinkle these back in with, a full length feature such as, The Prestige, if you will.
Yep. Is that
yeah,
foreshadowing?
No, it's not. No.
It's
a little magic trick. But yeah, I'm excited. This will be good. This will be fun. And yeah, if anyone has any movie recommendations, we're all ears.
Email us.
Yeah. You have our numbers, feel free to call us, text us. I think it's just our parents who are listening. So let us know. Just check in on us. But yeah, this will be good. I'm excited. So The Fan. I'm looking at my letterbox, and my recent activity is you followed Kyle MacLachlan.
Nice.
He's on Letterboxd now. I thought that was funny. Anywho.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, 2024, year of movies. I think this will be good. I would like to throw in some new features. I would like to do some field trips to a movie theater. Maybe do an episode on that.
Cool.
But yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening if you got this far.
Appreciate you all. Please like and subscribe on anything that you can interact with us on. Anywhere's great. Apple podcast review, I think, is pretty solid.
Yeah, I would say so.
See you in a couple weeks. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Go watch a movie if you haven't done that.
Oh, yeah, that too. Sorry. Yeah.
I kind of felt like those are for the single movies. That's why I stopped doing them.
Go watch movies.
Because we have a different theme song. It felt like...
Go watch The Fan.
Nice. Yeah, go watch The Fan. Prepare for next week.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.